Okay, we're going. How's it going? Crazy Roger King here. On this little episode, I'm going to answer some questions. I got an email from someone named James Smith. He has 10 questions, and I'm going to just answer them. And that's what I'm going to talk about for this little deal. So, here we go. He says, hi, I have some questions. Number one, will you do any more Peter's Web? I'm not going to say no, never, but right now, no. I might in the future. I might get that itch to be like, you know what? I really want to just do a short one. I got better camera stuff. I know what was wrong in the last ones. I know what would hit pretty hard on the internet. But right now, no. Maybe in the distant future, yes. So there's that. Number two, how did you feel doing the Hobgoblin? I like the way I did the Hobgoblin. I like how I made the Roderick Kingsley very mysterious. You know, you never even saw him. It was very dark when he was discovering the Green Goblin's lair. It was very, I actually played Roderick Kingsley, you know, and like even when he's holding up the deal of serum, and he's doing all kinds of different things. I like the mysteriousness behind it. You know, I thought it was pretty cool the way I did. If I was watching, I'd be like, that's kind of cool, because in the comics it was such a mystery, and throughout the it was for a while. It was like, who is the Hobgoblin? Is it Flash? Is it this guy? Is it that guy? So I like how I handled that way. The Hobgoblin's mask didn't come out exactly how I wanted. It looked like he had these big bug red round eyes. I wish I would have done his mask a little different, but for the most part, I thought it was okay. Who is Dr. Octopus? Dr. Octopus was played by this guy that worked at a comic book store that I met. And I remember I just called him out of the blue and said, hey, would you want to play a character in my fan film? He said, well, who? And I told him Doc Ock. And he just started laughing. Like, he was laughing forever. And, but yeah, he was very into it. Nice guy. One funny thing about him, when we were filming, he's very smart. Like, he had good ideas, but it was a constant. I think I heard the line about 30 times of, now this is your movie, but, and I'm just here to do whatever you want to do, but, blah, 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 blah. I think this. 5 minutes later. Now, I know it's your movie, but I think that, and it was just constant. It was constant like that, and it was funny. I mean, I didn't get too mad about it, but it was funny. That's what I remember. Number 4, how did you do the lizard? I just found kind of a bigger guy, made the mask. The way I made the mask was like, the inside of his mouth I made kind of like a fleshy pink fabric, and I knew I had to have it dark, because it had to be a night scene. I could not have the lizard in broad daylight looking the way I was able to put him together. So basically I just took foam sheets, folded them, sculpted a mask, put fabric over that, glued it all together, drew in scales, got eyes, and I made it to where the guy can see through basically the pinkish flesh hue silk. So he was able, his mouth was about here and his eyes were about there, so I made it to where he could see out of that, and that's how he was able to get around. I thought I did okay with the lizard. Okay, I mean, obviously it's not going to be on the big screen or nothing, but I did the best. I knew I wanted him in there. That's the best I could do. I knew it had to be at night. He had to move fast. He had to be very like crazy. I didn't want to have him talk because I didn't know how that would come off. So that's my lizard. Number 5, why didn't you use the scorpion or the rhino? I like the scorpion. I wanted to use him. I would have just made the whole quilt suit and like something for the shockwaves. That would have been pretty awesome. But I already did like 15 or 16 different I was just in too deep on all the other parts, all the other costumes. It was getting a bit much, especially the rhino. I would have loved to have the rhino, but again, I would have had to have a huge guy. That suit might have taken not too much, you know, just like a gray suit, but I would have had to have major muscles, huge, rocky stone looking, the giant horn. And just the time to make, if I'm gonna have the Rhino, I'm gonna have him blasting through a building, blasting like through cars like they're nothing. That's another reason. I just knew it was gonna be a lot of props, a lot of this, a lot of that, and I was on a time crunch. I mean, I worked on it for 3 years. So can you imagine at almost 2.5 years into, 2 years into it being like, I'm gonna throw in the Rhino, I'm gonna throw in Scorpion, I'm gonna throw in this. I could have done more, but it ran its course up to that point where it's like it was editing. I wanted to get these out. I was filming. Got to get to the next stage of the production, which was editing, and then getting them out there. Okay, number 6. Why didn't you do Peter and Mary Jane's wedding, or were they married? The end of the 6th one, he proposes to her, and I did a crossover. Basically, everything started to seem like it was coming together for him. And he's extremely happy. And right when Mary Jane says yes, you see them in the distance hugging. He picks her up, out in front of the theater. But then you start to hear the voice of Doc Ock initiating that Sinister Six meeting. So I thought that was a good crossover. Like, okay, Peter does not know what's coming. He never really does. He never will. There's always going to be something. He's always going to think he found complete happiness. There's always going to be something right around the corner he's not aware of. That's just waiting to take him out. So it showed the constant threat his life is under, even though he's, in happy situations momentarily. Threats are constantly coming. Why did you only do 6 Peter's Web issues? Again, 2.5 years, constant production, 3 years editing, or 3 years. It was a lot. It was just a lot. I mean, I think anyone going go on it, after a while, it would get a little. There needs to be an end. There needs to be a completion, because it can't go on forever. I had to move on and actually grow up a little bit and put money, make money and work more. It was a temporary halt on everything else in my life, but 2.5, 3 years of that, it just gets start to lose your mind a little bit and forget what's important. Then you start to want to get back into normal things, because if you do this, it takes a lot of time. It's not something that you could just do. I guess you could do it an hour a day, 3 days a week, but it's going to take forever for it to get together. So I'm all or nothing. That's why I did 6, and it took so long. Number 8, in the first one that you did, why did you use the Green Goblin first? I just wanted to go along with the origins of how I remember characters coming into play. I thought that was just a great one to where he had to square off. His friend was involved. There's so many relationship things all intertwined. So I just felt like Green Goblin, a lot happens with him, so yeah, that's why. I don't really have a huge reason. I just felt like it was the best choice. And I threw in Bullseye, little things on the side, but it was ultimately Green Goblin first. Plus also because issues 2 through 6, they all kind of have a little underlying, with Harry, second one, Harry becomes Green Goblin. The last one, Harry rediscovers, he remembers everything about the Goblin and all that, so it all kind of has a relationship tie. Oh, I'm almost at 9 minutes here, so we got, what else? Have you read Amazing Fantasy 15? Yes, I have. Groundbreaking. Haven't in a long time, but yeah, I've read it. Great comic. Was Aunt May and Uncle Ben your parents? I'm thinking you're probably asking if my parents played them, because obviously if you're a Spidey fan like you are, you know that they were the aunt and uncle. So no, those weren't my parents. Aunt May, she was a really nice old woman that used to live down the street from me, and I always remembered her, and I always thought, she'd make a good, when I was just brainstorming on who I can get for what, she came into my mind. I talked to my mom, she helped me track her down, got her in it. They were actually a married couple though. Her husband Daniel, her name was Louise, and then Daniel Broom, they were married, and I saw him, and I was like, dude, that you make a good Uncle Ben. I think you're pretty awesome for Uncle Ben, and he did a great job. So, anyway, that's it. James Smith, that's your questions. I hope I answered them clearly enough and gave enough details. I'll be back next time. Don't forget to subscribe. Tell your friends about this. I got about 115 subscribers. I need about 300. So if everyone can maybe tell 2 of their friends, hey, subscribe, maybe 3 of their friends, everyone, I think I can hit my mark pretty quick, and then that's going to even lead closer to me getting closer to hopefully starting to put my my original character into play and starting to reveal a little bit on that. So production can start on that. As soon as that happens, then I get some revenue rolling. So subscribe. I'll talk to you soon, and have a great day or night. Bye-bye. Oh, hold on. That didn't stop. Okay, bye. Subscribe.